If you advertise your advertise OnlyFans on this, I will delete it out of every fucking podcast.
Why?
Exactly.
Because it's not an advertising platform.
Paul.
Listen.
I feel like it looks like I'm naked. I do actually have a top on, guys.
I am not. No, take your, sorry, Paul. You take your time. By the way, I thought we were going to have to postpone this to tomorrow.
Listen, I had a nightmare with my papa, and I've had a shit day.
Yeah, no. We're only winding you up. Just chill out.
I'm not fucking winding you up, Paul. I've had a fucking shit day and on. I went and ate cheesecake and everything. Where the fuck have you been, mate?
You could have shared the cheesecake, I'm telling you.
Listen, I genuinely will have an OnlyFans by tomorrow night.
Oh, for fuck's sake, aye. See, tomorrow night when we're on a podcast, Paul, I'll ask you then. I'll say, have you got your OnlyFans set up? Is your girlfriend happy? Is your girlfriend happy with that, Paul? Has she gave you permission?
I don't have a girlfriend.
Yes, you fucking do.
Paul has pals that scratch his back, bite his shoulders, give him like nice hoover marks on his neck. What else does she do for you, Paul?
Shooks my banger.
We've been fuck, man. Listen, we've been pals for a while, Paul, and I ain't interested in any of that.
About that, but your pages are sticking together. You're leading a right good fucking bio wash, son.
That's all right. I get a course of antibiotics once a month. We're jamming.
And I think we'll start the podcast right there.
Good evening. Welcome to the podcast. How are we?
I'm doing well. How are you? And our guest, hello Dee, how are you?
I'm very good. How are you?
We are doing well. Oh, wow.
Well,
we're stuck already? That can't be.
Well, I felt like the doctor said I'm doing well. What's your ailment today?
Yeah.
What were you doing?
Do you know what it is, Fraser? Do you know what it is?
Go.
We're stuck for things to say because we've already had a 3-hour conversation when the podcast should have started 3 hours ago. But anyway, Paul is now here. Listen, Paul is now classed as a podcast diva. Everybody thinks that I'm the diva, the talent, and the one that's given it all. But no,
hold on.
Paula is the Rihanna. She's Mariah Carey. She's the Mariah Carey of podcasts. She's in 3 hours late.
Paula phoned me. No, I phoned Paula because I've got a thing about time. And I phoned her and she says, I'm 15 minutes away, babe. Now that was 8:10.
I done well. What are we on now? 25 to 9. I don't know that. Honestly, you should understand what it's like getting away from my papa.
No, we know. We're all that wind up.
Brutal.
But don't believe them, Aura.
He's a total game man. I just love listening to him. I play them all the time.
You should have heard him today.
That was
all
brilliant.
I'm saying is, Paul heard him today.
Oh, he was brilliant. He was on form today, by the way. And do you know what? It's not something we can share on the podcast, but that was the best Snapchat I've ever had in my whole life, by the way. The thing, it was just like that. And I was like, that was brilliant. Go straight, it was brilliant. We'll tell you, see, once the podcast is finished and we've stopped recording, I'm sure Paul will let you hear it.
I don't know if I can let you hear that, but aye, okay.
Right, so what is this podcast for? Why is Dee on? And what are we going to talk about first?
Well, Paul, for a start, you're not going to talk about yourself tonight, because every time we're on a podcast, Paul's like, oh, I'm here, oh, it's me, Paul Brannan, Paul B, Big Paulo, wee Paulo, Paul. So tonight, Paul, and last night we had Paul Keaton, so there was 2 Pauls, right? It was a nightmare, because you said Paul to Paul Keaton's and Paul B's like that. Yes. So
who's your inspiration, Paul? Well,
exactly. Tonight it's all about Dee, so you're
I'm quite good with the D. I like to give the D all the time. So yeah, let's talk about the D.
Did you just metaphorically put my name in as a fucking cock?
That's what he did.
Yes, I did.
No. You've already established before this with all your lip biting and your psychology smooth and charisma and your big floor show. Don't you be coming on here and thinking you're starting that shit with me. Now.
Does it not work on you? Look, does this not work?
This is why I'm single, because guys start doing it and I'm like, what was wrong with your eyebrow? Are you getting it to your lip? I get some lip balm if your lips are dry. What the fuck is keeping your lips?
My lips are always wet, Dee. I'm not going to lie.
Paul's does a smooth quite a bit.
No, I'll show you. Wait a minute till I get a drink. I was watching him the day. Right, watch this. Right, you ready? I've got it, right? No, relationship's got to be, you know, like the two of yous. But I'm magic together, and I'm just, I can't, what can I say? I'm just gravitated towards the younger women.
Sounds about right.
Oh, I'm going to enjoy this one.
I like this podcast, by the way.
This one where Paul he lives up to his pattern, know what I mean? Because I'm sitting there going, liar, liar, pants on fire.
Why do you think I gravitate towards the younger women? Because all the older women have heard the shite before.
I've not seen you bite your lip once, but I've seen you look about to know where the fucking door is.
But I think he's just actually looking to see if there's any cameras about.
Well, that'll be you know what I mean? He likes the camera anyway. I get the eyebrow flick and that and a wee bit.
Alright, so when that CCTV catches you, but into the CCTV catches you, this is still the best thing on the planet. Like honestly, that was a bad night. I'm not going to lie. See, when I looked up, I just thought to myself,
Paul,
it
was a bad night for you because she'd already came and you hadn't. That's why you said it was a bad night.
Can we cut that bit out?
Nope.
For once, and the one and only time I've been able to roast you on here.
There's no way it's getting cut out. That's
That's not the best bit. She says she wouldn't even finish herself. No, I can't see that either.
Okay, well, I'll have to cut that bit out.
Right. Anyway, it was a dodgy night. Right? I'm not going to lie. Right. The problem you've got living with your parents, right, and the girl that you
You just get a cookie back.
Yeah.
Well, if you get a cookie back, your parents will not ken because they'll only hear 2 footsteps. You know, try
No,
that one.
they were at, you know, they'd found a special place.
Can we not talk about this, please? Because I don't think I'm not going to lie, right? She's a nice girl. I quite like her. I don't want her to kind of run away.
Paul, you're smitten as fuck. Don't start.
Maybe if you're smitten as fuck, you only keep flicking eyebrows and winking faces and licking lips as if you've got sherbet on your face or something.
No danger, he'll stop that.
No, I'm talking about it.
Nah, I'm talking about it.
Dee's talking about my live earlier, right? I was talking to Lynn, and what I said was, I can't give dating advice based on the fact that what's good. I says I can only give dating advice based on what I know is bad because I've had enough failed relationships to realise what not to do. So what I said was, in a relationship, you need to have your own life and your own hobbies and your own friends. That person has their own life, their own hobbies, and their own friends. You meet in the middle somewhere, then you've got things to talk about, because if your whole life is that person and that person's whole life is you run out of things to talk about. You run out of things to say. You run out of things to do with each other that makes you happy. You don't miss each other. Whereas if you spend
Nothing to talk about.
nothing to talk about. So you just end up in that cycle of fucking being annoyed.
What really annoys me, guys don't like this, right? And generally lassies, they like this, but I'm serious when I say, see, when I'm out on a night out, I don't want you texting me every hour asking me how my night is.
Yeah.
I want to come in while I've flirted with the whole of the town, I've danced all our hundreds of tables, and then I want to come in and sit in your face because I've not heard from you all night.
That's it. that is me down to a T. No me going out. Right. And I'm not a jealous person, right? And I want, and see if I'm in a pub with my missus, I'm one of the people that gets a bit turned on with the fact that every other guy in that room wants to bang my missus. If that's the case, I'm that type of person. I'm not the type of person that wants to bang everybody out for looking at my missus or try to chat her up. I just one of the guys that I get off on people wanting to pump your missus, and that's me down to a T. My worst relationship was my marriage, because if I wanted to go a night out, I'd need to book it 6 weeks in advance, and then on the morning that the night I was going out, the fights would start, the argument would get started or nothing, and then you would get to a point where you wouldn't want to go a night out because you're in such a cunty a mood because she's put you in a mood, and then you go your night out, and then before you know it, you're getting phoned 10 minutes in. Hello, what? Hi, what's up? Nothing. So why are you phoning me then? Well, if you're going to be like that then, and then that would be it, and then she'd hang up, then you put your phone back in your pocket, then you've had 40 text messages, 16 missed calls, and your pal's going, Paul, what the fuck is going on here? What is she even doing? And that was my cycle for my life, for trying to go out. She could come in, we could be sitting in front of Saturday night fucking telly, right, with the Waynes, and her pal texted her, do you want to come round for a drink or whatever? Now, we've already planned to sit and have a bottle of wine or whatever and sit with the kids and watch the telly, and I'll be like, aye, crack on. And she goes out and I'll spend the night with the Waynes, and that was brilliant. So she had the free reign to go and do what she wanted, and I get absolutely slaughtered if I booked a night out weeks in advance. But that was my life, and that's why when I tell folk is you need to have your own life, you need to and you need to meet in the middle, and it's that thing. Whereas if you go a night out, because as I said, girls that I've spoke to since are like, oh, you never messaged me. And I'm like, no, I wouldn't message you. I would not message you when you're on a night out. I am not going to send you a text message. If you message me, I'll answer you back because that's what I'm doing. But I am not going to proactively try to call you or text you or do anything when you're on a night out because that's your night out.
What if I go to actually tell you if I've spoke to you all fucking night? Because I've not been able to sit with my pals and have a laugh, and I'm a natural flirt. I do flirt with people. And for my last relationship, I was with somebody for 10 years who I told him and promised him I wouldn't talk about him too much, but he was a wank. But anyway, I was waiting for that, and I get suppressed, and I was told not to the way to act and I put on loads of weight. I used to be dead fit, I used to be active. Totally lost myself for 12 years. But at the same time as well, it taught myself something as well, and it taught me I can't be fucked with bullshit. See if you want to be with somebody, be with somebody. See if you don't, be single. So I've got no time for that, and that's probably where I struggle. I've got no time for that fun factor, Fish. I've done it all. I've been that flirty, mad sex in a car in the middle of a beach. I've fucking done all that stuff, you know what I mean? I want to fucking wake up on a Saturday morning, go, it's raining outside, let's get to fuck, let's go up to fucking the middle of Skye and John O'Groats and put our phone off and skinny it. You know what I mean? I'm no in. I see all that sexual fucking thing. I've done it all. Forced fucking life at me. It just doesn't ignite my soul, man. It just doesn't. It's like, guys, it's like I'd have you upside down, back to front, fucking screaming. I'm like, no, you wouldn't.
Who does that sound like, Paul?
What do you mean? Who does that sound like? I'll have you know. I'm celibate. Celibate here, celibate there.
Aye. On camera.
Yeah, but listen.
That's a dead powerful fucking speech, but I think that's why I terrify folk, and I think that's why I amaze folk and I like folk. I'm just real. I can't play the vulnerable. Oh, he likes vulnerable, so let me like vulnerable and sad. I'm a powerful fucking woman. I like a good fucking ride. I like a good bit of fun. I like fucking excitement. I don't give a fuck about your pals. Go and hang about with them day to day, and then meet me in the middle and let's have fun as a sex chat, laugh, and then fuck off for 3 days. Why is that so difficult to find?
Where the fuck have you been all my life, by the way?
It's no day. I'm not going to lie. I'm in that situation right now. Like, it's amazing. No to lie. Like,
of course you are, you wee prick. You know what I mean? I was waiting for my dream trauma to become your fucking absolute fairy tale ending. You take a day off, right?
I fucking love this. This is the best podcast ever.
Paul's the only person.
Right now I'm in the middle of the night. Fuck off, Paul. It's not about you, mate. It's about me. My cravings, and there you are saying, oh, I've been eating that cake for a week. Have you? Fuck off, Paul.
Oh, yes.
I do. You were like, why are they fucking specs? I've got the right glasses for you. Fucking shut up.
Yes.
What I tell my bros, this is what I tell my bros, because you sound like the Alan, you sound like a done. And I go, see, once you're still saying about her 4 weeks, still say that same thing to me, fine. 5 weeks if you still say that. See if it gets to a year, that's when I'm accepting her into the circle. That's what I say to my bros. Oh, I mean, my fucking darn, he's in love with somebody in fight, he is in love again, so I better not say anything. I don't know about the thing about him, but he is in love with this one. But he's been in love for every 3 weeks, man. I was just like, I can't keep up. Can't keep up.
No, I know Paul's in love with
I'm not in love.
Because, you know, I was out with Paul on Saturday night, and I'm going to tell you something.
Listen, this is a wind-up. I am genuinely not in love with anybody. This is a wind-up.
Paul never put his phone down the whole night. Next minute he was on FaceTime. Next minute he was off FaceTime. Next minute Paul's loved up.
It was not. Listen, this is an absolute wind-up. Me and this person are just friends, and it's a TikTok wind-up, and yous are all biting.
I think she was the one biting. I seen the fucking marks on your shoulder.
Oh.
I seen the marks on your shoulder, Paul.
It's a good TikTok wind-up. Do you remember the Hitman Slayer and Davey Dunnett
Aye.
couch gate?
Aye.
Well, this is sex gate. We're just kidding on.
Aye, okay.
It's going to come out. It's going to come out.
It's going to come out in HD, Paul, when they release that camera.
I'm telling you.
Are you practicing? Are you going through the motion of the sexual thing just to see how that will turn out?
No, but it's just all a big joke.
This sounds a bit like you saying, "Oh, I went on Tinder for a social experiment. Oh, and I got a ban." Who gets a ban on fucking Tinder?
Let's talk about this because obviously it's a special dating one. Dee, are you on Tinder? And how are you finding it?
I just really get really bored and horny at night. Sometimes swipe a lot of rights, wake up in the morning, haven't even had a drink, and think, "Thank fuck," because that's bad enough. No, I mean, because if I drank and swiped right, they would have been even fucking uglier. You know what I mean? and then it's just, hey, what are you on here looking for? A fucking iron, mate. An iron.
That's it. Aye, that's it. What is it you're looking to get off Tinder? My hole.
Hey, what is your? Oh my God, you're gorgeous. What are you doing on here? Same as ugly folk looking for a fucking date.
But you know, right? Obviously, at the same time as I done Tinder, I done Badoo and the Bumble shite. That you need to do them all right. And what I found is Tinder is very pretentious. What I found is 90% of the women on there, right, were pictured either in Dubai or outside a Range Rover with a Louis Vuitton bag. Or Tinder was very pretentious.
Telling you what kind of Christmas presents they expect.
Right, aye. So I'm like, I live with my ma. I've got like 20 grand of debt that my wife left me in and all that. And I'm like, left. I can't afford you, hen. I can't afford you. And I completed Tinder. But anyway, when you go to Badoo,
I completed Tinder.
I completed it. I did. I completed it.
Fab Swingers, mate.
Talk about that in a minute. We'll talk about Fab.
Aye.
Fab Swingers is the fuck book of the internet. It's the fuck book. It's like
fucking like microwave meals, mate. I love it.
So
I'll have 6 for 3. I'm not really into dogging. I can see the fist in my, but I'll date it.
all day fuck tick. Saturday night, all right for you? Aye. Who wants to go to CJ's this weekend?
I'm actually the same with my Fab Swingers, but I'm with my hair. I leave it till I'm climbing the fucking walls. I'm like half an hour.
Yes.
The last one I was like, he started a conversation and he's like, blah blah blah. He's like, listen, I'm dead busy, man. I'm fucking that'll do. On you go. But does anybody think Fab Swingers are that desperate? You're hoping that one of these maddies will sleep with you and then you're going to marry them. You've been running off, didn't mate? I'm using you and me. Get out my door.
I know. Like I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Fab Swingers, Fraser. Or right. So Fab Swingers was essentially it was a swinging site. So Swingers obviously created it for swingers, but it's kind of turned into just a seedy kind of everybody was wants to pump kind of thing. So
it's dial dick.
Aye. So it's not like Tinder. So let's say like Tinder. Like when you're swiping, you need to try and gauge them whether they're going to pump you in the first date or no. With Fab Swingers, it's just on their profile they're going to pump you when they meet you. So
they actually tell you what they like during
aye,
that
so
time.
Anal, swinging, all that caper. So aye, it's like that. Aye, it's pretty much the 365 days of dating, shall we say? It's just tunnels of pumping. That's what it's about.
That's what you're about.
I'll be right honest. I only did it once. And it was great. I thought I needed that. I had this like empty for 2 years, and I talk about my honest life all the time. 2 years there, I was doing the whole respect thing, you know, keep your clothes on for at least 7 hours, and it was a difficult time. And I actually got to the stage, I was like, right, I'll go on this and own it once, and don't get me wrong, it was fucking what I needed, but I just, after it, I was just like, wow, that was just that fucking shite sex thing. But at the same time as well, I did go on it for another swatch now and again, and then feed the soul, and then get back at it.
I'd imagine it's very empty, right? Because although there's a man and there's somebody who likes to kid on that he's a player and do all that other stuff, right? And it is just a joke, right? But you still need that. I still think you need a bit of a connection. I know, you can sleep with somebody on the first night, right? See, if you're really drunk, it's just whatever, right? But I think being sober and doing anything, it would be pretty weird just taking your clothes off with somebody you've never even spoke to
No,
much.
I couldn't imagine that.
Banging them, then putting your clothes off. Because I would be one of the guys that would be like, sees you're going out the door and they're following you out the door, is reaching back for a kiss and a cuddle to say goodbye and all that. Because I'd feel bad. I'd feel, I genuinely, and I'm being serious. I'd feel used.
That's where you've went wrong. That's how they end up fucking hating you, you fucking idiot. Because you tried to keep them like a bam after it, and then you wouldn't have ended up the biggest bam because they thought you were going to phone them.
Exactly.
That's the mistake you all, mate. Give that kiss and cuddle and the number on the way out. No.
Thank you.
You
Thank you. That was lovely. Speak to you tomorrow. Block.
You don't walk at my pal used to say it, and that I'd come in and I'd black, and he'd always do this thing. He'd go like this, right? I'm like, what the fuck you done? You went out last night and get fucking on it. Just gave me a fucking photo, gave her your phone number, your postcode, and your fucking blood group. And he's like, aye. I'm like, why? He says, oh, because she was lovely. I'm like, but you're not going to see her again, are you? And he's like, no, I've fucking ignored all texts. That's the one thing I tell my mates about dating as well. See if a guy really fancies you, right? I mean, really fancies you, not just intrigued by your look or intrigued by what you do, really fancies you. He will fucking message you. Guys are like puppy dogs. My pal was like, I messaged him at 2 o'clock. I mean, he did reply at 4 o'clock, but it was only 3 words. He's not interested.
True.
So let's go down this avenue then. So what would you, as a woman, what would you say, right? Because I'll tell you from a guy's point of view once you've told me from a girl's point of view, right? Or Fraser might tell you. I don't know if he can still remember what dating's like, but he's been married a long time now. So I'll take it from a guy's point of view. You tell me from a girl's point of view. What would you, as you've met somebody, you're in the talking stage. How would you gauge whether somebody was interested in you, a man that was interested in you, and then I'll tell you how I would be interested, right?
A man that was interested would be engaging in your conversation. He wouldn't be distracted. He wouldn't be looking at his phone. He would be interested in what you were saying. You would be natural to who you are. I don't believe in all this giggly, let's eat a salad when the first time I meet him and let's drink Prosecco. No, mate, I drink a lager tops and I like a burger, and that's who I am. Do you know what I mean? So there's that kind of element. But for me, it is connection. I do psychic medium as well. So that's another thing that freaks guys out, because if you cheat on me, I fucking know. Fucking you know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? He's like,
You're fucking, your granddad Tommy was in the room when you were pumping her, and he told me.
I got a flat tire. No, you didn't. She was blonde. Her name was Susan, you lying bastard. But I believe a guy, if a guys are very, very, guys are, I don't know what I've got all these different branches of for life now, but a guy and a woman in a heterosexual relationship, and even in other relationships, the guy, the alpha, let's say the alpha, right? The alpha person likes to protect the woman. And that's why a proper caveman type of alpha male, strong, can't cry, that type of guy likes a woman to be vulnerable. Do you know what I mean? But a real connection with somebody, you don't need to show vulnerability until you start to get to know each other, and you actually show the fun side of you. So a guy will only start talking about his ex because he's got a talking point. He'll talk about you and what's current and be interested in, because a guy really wants to know. So if a guy's interested in a woman, he wants to know her, behind the makeup, behind the eyelashes, behind it. If he just wants to fuck her, he'll compliment her on her hair, he'll compliment her on her eyes, and he'll flirt with her, and he'll touch her leg, and he'll invade the space straight away. But if he doesn't, he doesn't, like if he is genuinely interested in it, he'll play casual because he'll not want the rejection of something he really wants for a change. Am I on the right way, Paul?
I'm just thinking to myself, fuck, man, I've been complimenting the legs, the hair. I'm sitting here going, oh, maybe I just want to pop. No. No, on a serious note, aye, what I would say is, you're right, typical cavemen want a vulnerable woman. I think times have changed now, I'm not going to lie. I'm the type of person, I prefer my women to be much stronger than me. Like, I wouldn't say I'm camp, but what I would say is I'm more feminine than a normal. Like,
Sensitive, more feminine traits.
I'm more feminine than most burly men. Like, that's just who I'm at. Eh?
I think I don't know. I don't have a type. I don't have a thing, mate. I've got to the stage in my life where, because I do a lot of relatable comedies, you know, Paul. You're aware of my comedy, and I'm aware of you and your granddad stuff. You know what I mean? And relatable stuff and out there stuff and hangmies. But I'm quite simple. It's don't talk shite to me. Don't try and shag my pal or my sister. And if you ever don't fucking like me, just tell me and don't be a bam about it, because life's full of games and full of shite and I cannot be bothered with it. And I'm not going to lie, I'm 39-year-old. I'm not looking for somebody to go and fucking shag for a couple of weeks and kid when we're in love. I'm wanting to settle down, so that puts people off as well. And that doesn't mean I'm desperately want to settle down and just go, he's all right, he's not that good in the eye, but he's got a job, move in. No, I mean, I don't mean like that. I mean, meeting somebody that's your equal and then stimulates you. And I'm very attracted to intelligence. I like a good conversation, something that stimulates your mind. And because of the Dee Maxwell, you can imagine, I get no offence to anybody that looks like this, but I get wee guys with 2 teeth and a burger so and half a bottle of bucky asking me if I'm wanting finger. You know what I mean? So my comedy both get a fucking good edge and a bad edge. Do you know what I mean?
But I think as well, like if you say to somebody, oh, you know, I'm looking to settle down, that people automatically think that you're going to like fucking want to skip down the aisle the Mora. Like, all right, okay, so you want to settle down, and you're like, actually, it's not by the end of the month or the year or like 2 years. Like, I just want to know that there's a purpose to me actually going with you. Yeah. So I think that that's one of the things that, you know, guys, you know, say, oh, well, I want a bird, but then as soon as a girl says, well, I want to settle down, guys are like, well, wait a minute, she wants married the Mora. And it's not that case at all.
It depends on what kind of guy you're. Like me, I thought when I was ready to start, I thought when I left my relationship, oh, I'm going to be the big shagger and I'm going to go out and I'm going to get myself tinsel and I'm going to parrot about like nobody's business. And then
Then you fell in love.
No, then you match with like 40 girls and you're trying to message 40 girls and then you're trying to remember where that one tell you she worked, where that one tell you she's fae, and then it's that, and I'm like, I'm too old for this now. I'm too old to be playing the field like I'm 21 and remembering every.
Quite sad. I'm being honest. I'm 39 and I do look at it now and I make my comedy, my jokes about but when I express, I'm not going to lie, Paul, you'll be aware of that, and that's how I watch you too, and I love it. It all comes to a light. I'm not needy at all. I'm not looking for somebody to complete my life. I'm a successful, strong fucking businesswoman. I feed me, I fund me. Nobody fucking does anything in this. Yep. I don't need them to come in and fix my nest. My nest is already secure. I've got all that going, and I've worked incredibly hard on myself. Now, when I was big, I was more confident with men. My confidence comes from being shattered by a relationship, being cheated on all the time. So I seen the weight as an issue of that, but it was just the person he was. But see now, I'm fucking banging. I'm fucking dynamite in the kitchen. I'm dynamite in the fucking bedroom. I'm shite at cleaning. You can't have it all. You know what I mean? I fucking love exercise. I love a lager tops. I hate Fitbit. I want you to go to your pals and no talk to me about Fitbit. They're more than welcome to run as long as you don't ever speak to me. And I'm quite simple, but it seems the world when you put that out in there like a sort of advert, it's like, wow, she's quite intense. Doesn't make you say I'm just going to grab a random in the street and go, I think you fit all the characteristics. Hello, husband.
Well, do you want to hear my advert? Do you want to hear my advert?
No.
I'm 37. I'm almost divorced. I'm back to my mum for the second time in 3 years. I'm still trying to pay off the marital debt that I'm in. I can't afford my own house. I can't get my own nest because I'm not in a position to at the minute. And yeah, that has to be the biggest turn off for women in the planet. Surely.
No, turn off off to the wrong women because I was brought up with loads of money, Paul. I was brought up with hundreds of money. My mum always had the best cars, best trainers. And I've said this when I was a young girl. That's how I'm so humble as a comedian as well, and the money I earn and everything else. I'm so humble with it because I was brought up with fucking money. I never knew what it was to have a hole in my trainers at teenage years and all the rest of it. And my house was fucking miserable. And I've stayed in houses with fucking no carpets up the stairs and been more happy. So if you think that that's a holdback, then that's the wrong thing.
It's what I read when I read obviously that social experiment I done on Tinder, and most of them is I've got my shit together, or looking for a guy who's got his shit together, and you're like, my fucking life is just a series of it's been a series of car crashes from I was a young boy to now, and I just got out of one car crash, and I just jumped to another one, and that's just how I feel my life has went, and I think that's where I'm probably why I'm not supposedly looking for to go out and play the field. I'm actually genuinely just looking for somebody who makes me happy and.
But see, if somebody's got their shit together and somebody's got their house and somebody's got their car and somebody pays their bills, then do you know what? Regardless if you can't provide that, they do that anyway for themselves. So see, if they're looking for somebody, they shouldn't be looking for that for you to do that for them. They're doing it already.
They've said that to you. They haven't got their shit together because if they were attracted to you on the basis of energy and how you looked, what your possessions are shouldn't matter.
Exactly. It's what you can offer them doesn't need to be of monetary value or goods value. You know,
see, Paul, because I do that thing as well. I just tell it how it fucking is. I am gorgeous. I'm not lying when I say I'm fucking dynamite in the fucking bedroom. I'm fucking got good statistics. I know I'm shit hot. And I'm fucking brilliant at a fucking roast dinner. But I'm a bit of a psycho now and then, and 3 days out the month. Man, but nobody should be limited by possession. I mean, I've stayed in a fucking 1-bedroom council flat and been happier than what I did when I moved into this house, running away from my fucking hometown because they'll not let me have my success. Behind the scenes, I was having all sorts of crap for my hometown, having to move here and move away and have this big house, and sometimes less happy when I was in my nice council house, do you know what I mean? So possessions are nothing, and I would never be with somebody. I'm attracted to a guy on his soul, on a soul level. Something shines.
It needs to be a connection.
And then you build it for there. So it's not a look for me. I've went with guys at a fucking complete extreme opposite of how they look. It's all connection. That's why I find it hard with this. See, like online dating and stuff like that, I find it hard because I find that you don't actually get a true connection with somebody unless you're with them and talking to them and getting to know their vibe and reading their eyebrows and their lip bites and that, you know what I mean? Things like that, Paul.
Paul.
What's happening, ladies?
And see if you ever happen to be in a Snapchat group with Paul, you'll see his Willie every day, every single day. In fact, today before I even left my papa's...
Listen, I have not had my Willie out in a group chat since
you fell in love. Yep, you're right. But
I'm not feeling it. You cheeky bastards.
But
long may that continue, because I was going to hold back my Snapchat, but I'll give you it as long as he's in love and I don't think he's got.
I am not.
Listen, you'll see. You know how many times I have seen. So me and Paul are pretty close. I do not fancy Paul in the slightest. All the lassies like, oh, Paul, they're creaming their pants over him. I'm like, he's kidding on. I'm like, for fuck's sake, man. But there's so many. Every day I used to wake up and I was in these about 10 group chats with him. You'd open the group chats and there's Paul's Willie dangling about and you're like, fucking hell.
It's only a Willie. I don't understand people, right, who think that it's such a big thing. Like,
well, it's not a big thing, we know that.
Oh, I'm liking the side of Paula. Where have you been for the past 6 weeks?
I like it. I think we need to get Dee on more often because I never get a chance to do this because Paul's always like, oh, me, I'm the star. Paula's the one that organises. I'm the star.
Paula, actually, listen, I've watched him go for the last 2 days because that's what I do. And I'm sitting there watching and I'm thinking, I'm going straight in for the kill to show him I know exactly what his game is, so he better just show himself and make one else.
So anyway, Paul, you were saying back to big things?
No, you're talking. If you want to talk about big things, then I don't know why you're talking to me, Paula. Hey.
Exactly. Listen, Paul, the other day, he was on a live and somebody's like, "Oh, you're so fit. Oh, I'll donate," because he's doing a donation for Macmillan for Sober October, and this kid was like, "Oh, do 10 press ups." So Paul's like topless, and Paul's like, "Oh, don't worry, I'll give you 30." Paul had his wee trucks in the background, so we could all just see his wee toys. I'm like, Paul, that's a red neck. Like, you've embarrassed yourself in front of these women.
Aye, nobody else noticed the trucks. I got a guy that offered me $1,000 to lick my lips in a private video. That was it.
Going to send him my number. I lick my lips in a fucking TikTok video, and I don't get paid fuck all.
$1,000 I get offered. I've never bought into that side of things because I'm quite old school that way. But a lot of my pals that are in the industry, I've got fan pages and earning crazy amounts of money. Do you know what I mean? It's just
people do. I mean, I remember when we were in a group chat one time, they were talking about. Remember, I don't know if you were in it, Paul. And they happened to be talking about feet fetishes. But they were saying to Doug Keed, one of the other people said to Doug Keed, "Oh, people would pay good money for feet, and you've got wee feet and all this." And then I said, "Well, hey, what's wrong with my feet?" And because my feet are tattooed, they said, "Oh, you've got tarnished feet." Tarnished feet.
Well, my pal used to fill a bath with beans and take pictures of herself in the bath and get fucking stupid money for it.
Can I just say, women are lucky bastards, man. They get to make money doing fuck all. See if I'm getting a bath. See if I decided to dip myself in a tub of beans, how much money do you think I'd make?
Fuck off.
How many women want to see a guy in a tub of beans?
You'd plug yourself on every live. You'd plug yourself on every live, every podcast. You'd plug yourself on the radio when you're on next week. You would plug yourself every live. I got to. Paul's like, "Oh, guys, another thing.
Can you go follow my Instagram?
Insta. And, listen, let's get my Insta numbers up, guys. Sorry, guys. Wait a minute, Paula. I've had to make a new account. I've been banned, Paula. So then I'm like, "Hi guys, this is Paula here talking about Paul's 10th account. Going to go and follow him again." And then Paul goes on it and he's like, "Hi guys, I'm back on live again. Going to go follow my Insta."
I do that as well. I can't say it. I was constantly. I remember pure getting excited, but obviously TikTok wasn't really about then. I mean, I've only jumped on the TikTok platform the last while, and my head's hurting, if I'm honest. So I only really come on and see yours and see a couple other ones and then go back off. It's too much for me.
It is negative. There's a lot of negativity on it.
It's getting really bad, and I think that's what's wrong, because when I first watched it at the beginning of lockdown, it was just dances and stupidity
and camaraderie. Everybody was in the same boat. Everybody was after work. Everybody clubbed together. And then as it's the cabin fever set in towards the end of lockdown, and the cabin fever set in, and then everybody started hating each other, and you're just like,
well, they all hated each other because some people took off. And some people, because they took off, they got things for taking off. Some people maybe got asked, "Oh, do you want to do like this kind of production? Or we're going to give you we're going to give you a sponsorship with this or that." And that's when people start hating on you. See, if you're a true person or a true follower, or a true fan, or just a true friend, you're not going to hate on somebody. You actually want to see somebody succeed in life. I think of waking up in the morning and be like, I want to see, I'm really close with Paul. I could never imagine waking up and going, I want to see Paul unsucceed in life. Like, I'm pure want to be like, do you know what? If he's down, I'm going to fucking pull him up.
But there's not many like that, even in the other part of the circuit.
Well, lift me up, because I'm always down.
It's all about stamping and folks fucking hate it. It's terrible behaviour. I'm so self-assured in my entertainment that I know it doesn't matter how many people I elevate, I'm still going to get there. And that's the way you need to think. If you don't think like that, you're fucked. Because if you're going to concentrate on somebody else's journey, and see even if they've said something offensive to you, right? See if you keep going over that same thing, they do matter to you. I don't give a fuck what way you look at it. They matter to you, because it doesn't matter what they're doing wrong, or whether you don't think they deserve the success, or whether you think they're a fake or a wrong unit, or this or that. It doesn't matter, because you care. Why are you still watching? You've had a spat with them. Why are you still watching? Because you care. Don't say you don't, because you do. Whether it's
that's almost like there's a trolling page on TikTok that I've been trolled on along with some other people, and so on my lives now I talk about them nearly every time in my life, because I'm like, if they're going to take the time to go and get a video of me, write a load of shit on it, I may as well just promote them. So rather than I never comment on their videos, but I mean I watch them because they tag me in them. they're fucking bams. But if they want to continue to take their videos and look like idiots, crack on.
As soon as there's a negative comment on any of my platforms, Facebook or anything, I block and delete, block and delete. My mate and Gary and all that, who are bigger comedians than me, used to go, oh, any fucking, I says, I come for a scheme, right? I used to jump through windows for folk growling at me. If you think I'm going to be able to sit there and have a TikTok war, I'm not going to be on nothing screaming, I'm coming to do this. I'm sliding through your window.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? So I don't reply to anybody, and it's not about what they've said or what they've done. It's for my safety, and I don't care how this sounds dead scummy or whatever. It's for theirs too, because I don't do talking. I've never done talking. I've never done just arguing with people, and that's why I avoid it rather than even say anything back. I don't mention them. As soon as they're on my page saying something, I ban them, I delete them. I don't give a fuck. I don't care whether it restricts my viewing or restricts who sees me. I've got too many mental health issues to deal with that level of hate. It's horrible. And when you engage in one and another, I'm not saying yours because I've not actually seen yours. You're just making me aware of it, Paula. So I'm not actually talking about yours. I just mean as a general rule for me. That's how everybody's got a different way to cope with it. And you mentioning them is your way. Do you know what I mean?
The only reason I do it is because I can take like this, see when I've got a bad week, right? And it's not very often that I'm really struggling, right? But if I am, I've got stuff going on in my life, and you're constantly getting, oh, your eyebrows are shit, or your profile's only on here because your papa's on it, right? I know that. I draw these eyebrows on. I upload the videos of my papa. I'm not daft, right? I know all these. You tell me these facts, but see young lasses or somebody who has got bad mental health who maybe do draw their eyebrows on for the first time in that week because they've not managed to get to bed for a week, and they think, oh, fuck, today I actually feel good about myself. I'm going to draw my eyebrows on, put a bit of makeup on, and put lipstick on, and somebody goes, you look like Coco the Clown. You've drew your eyebrows on, your lipstick's too red, your blusher's too fucking bright. That's then mentally going to just be like that for him. Oh my God, why did I get out of my bed today?
Don't get me wrong, if I go into my lives on Facebook, man, and somebody says it to me on there, as a wee guy said something one day, I'll destroy them because I grew up with boys. And you sit in a house with boys having a smoke or whatever, right? My cousins were boys. They told me I was fucking Mrs. Blobby's wee sister. They said, fuck's sake, Dee, the reason you're good at fighting is because when you punch, you just bounce back up, you fat bastard. This was people I loved, that loved me. This was what I got growing up, right? So see when somebody says something to me, I've been told 10 times worse when I was 5, I'll fucking destroy you. But you sitting behind your fucking keyboard for and talking absolute shite. Because if
it's the same people that would never come up to you and say it in the street.
No, like, I did it to somebody in the street. Somebody that was local to me trolled me, right, and was calling me for everything, talking about my cut. They said it once, right, before I actually kind of made the bigger circuit, they said, I fucking think she has something new with her comedy and all that. She's got a fucking duvet up at her window, right? And my pal's going, that'll be fucking right. Don't talk about my pal like that. When I fucking have got a duvet up at that window. It's a fucking belter. I've no blinds on it, so who gives a fuck? And I actually walked up to them in Tesco's, right? Because they were right now, I fucking would love a day in the room with him, like calling me him, and because saying I looked like a man, blah blah blah. And I still remember, and I'd stopped fighting because there's no point in fighting. It just gets you into bother, especially when I do what I do now. I can't afford to behave like that, right? So I just walked up to them in Tesco's and I just went, boo! And she fucking shot it and nearly jumped 10 miles over it. And I went, hi, absolutely shiting it for you, shiting it. And that's the only time I engaged because I knew her. And the odd time if I get it on the live, I'll fucking destroy them. They'll be doing a cuddle after them all by the time they're by. But I don't react and all the time and keep it going because you'll be there all fucking day. And before you know it, you will be just as bad as the other person because you'll be that angry, you forget what the fucking thing started for.
If you relate that, right, I love Gemma Collins, right? See if you relate that kind of situation to Gemma Collins. She was a car saleswoman, right? She then obviously went on to OnlyFans Essex, and she was a bit older in the cast. I never watched OnlyFans Essex. I've never watched it, but I know she was quite older in it because she's a bit older than me, and so she was one of the older ones. And obviously she wasn't, the size 6 like the rest of them. She was an actual, like she was a bigger woman. Like I'm a bigger woman. She was like, well, do you know what? This is me. You like me, you don't like me. People slated her for being big. People slated her for her dieting for years. But do you know what? She's rolling in the cash because she doesn't give a fuck about these people think. And see, really, that's the thing. Like, people are always going to talk about you. But if if you're succeeding, you don't give a fuck what they say.
I laugh at them. The fucking my own tune made my success, Paula. I put up my first clip, the vinegar one, right? And all these people were writing, fucking idiot. I remember when she was in this gaff. And every time they commented on this Scottish banter page, I get paid £100 for every day that clip stayed at, and they kept me at #1 for 7 days. All that shit, and I never once commented because I had a manager at that point. He's like, commenting fucking nothing. And I was like, right. So I didn't comment it, and they kept it because they were getting so angry because they were getting no reaction. I wasn't even saying it, and nothing in lives. £700 out of hate. There you fucking go. Know what I mean? So it is what it is, and as IMD grows, you'll get it about. And I say it with conviction. So fucking what if others are folk for? I followed you for your papa. I'll be admitting it first. I followed. So fucking what? He's funny as a fuck. He's my papa. So why? And what?
Honestly, yeah, he
What?
is funny. The day he was on point, the day he was really funny, and I really needed him to be funny today because I had a bit of a shit day. So he was really funny today, and it just, see when people write to me, they're like, oh, he brightens me up when I'm really down and stuff. And like the day for me, that genuinely happened. Like, because normally I record him all the time, and I'm like, he's just a fucking roaster. But the day, like, I was like, I can actually relate to this. So he is funny. This is the quietest I've ever had Paul on. I can't believe
Paul's mic and mute and everything, man. You better not be sitting there fucking playing a game or something and no listening
he's
to us.
playing something. There's no game.
I don't know why he's muted his mic.
Paul, come back to
Your
us.
mic's muted.
Was it me? Have I muted him?
Well,
It may have been me. Are you there?
You fuckers, he's muted me. He's fucking muted me, you bastards.
I might have by accident.
Fucking hell. Sitting here talking.
So quiet, I'm
Sorry.
I'm butting in going, oh, that's amazing. Oh, aye. Her grand is brilliant. And fucking, he's muted me.
I was like, I can't believe he's this quiet. What's happening?
Raging.
I was sitting there playing another game or something like that, for fuck's sake. But it is dead difficult in those days that you fucking can't handle. But see, these days, most people that comment, especially in my lives, are fucking, they must be away fucking and asking for the fucking priest to bless them, because that's how shite they feel after it, because I just fucking bring them down to that size, because anybody if I say something about somebody, I don't even know many people what saying little chicken's too wholesome to be funny. I care about that person because I've tuned into them and I care to make a comment of any kind. I care. Right. So to say they don't care, or to say, oh, you're a fucking idiot, you should go and sit down and get offline, you care because there's something about me that you can't have and you'll never be able to be, and it kills you.
Right. And that's all that is, jealousy.
Yes,
Paul
definitely.
Paul doesn't get hate. Paul's always like that. I'd love a bit of hate. Doesn't he get it?
Do you know why? Do you know why I don't get hate?
You just keep getting accounts banned, so nobody knows what accounts are.
This is why I don't get hate.
Oh, fuck's sake. The
Big
smoke
zaddy that.
I know, he's an absolute sand shoe, man. I was watching him that all the fucking day.
A sand shoe.
I was just watching him like fucking flip flop, man. Here we go. Straight through the flip flop with the fucking O's, like fun cheekies, the wee flick of the hair, the vulnerability. I don't really fancy Paul, and I'm not actually.
I'm going to tell you what it is. Paul bases it on sex appeal. That's what he's sex selling himself.
But I didn't start out like that.
I did my Snapchat.
No, you did think you started off like, duetting, and I'm like,
being funny.
He seems quite funny. I'll duet him because he's quite funny. He's singing a song I like, but I wasn't singing it, but he was duetting it. And I thought, I'll duet him. And then before you know it was like dick in your face, swinging a towel about with a cock outline. I'm like, fucking hell, this guy's went to town now. And then he's kicking about in a bra and a headband. And you're like,
I have followed both of these for a wee while, so I've just sat in the back and I don't actually follow until I see a lot of videos, because sometimes I've followed a few people and then it's fucking, and then it's just a Royal Rumble you see on their page, you know what I mean? I'm like, you know what I mean?
Been there, done that.
It's fucking nuts. But it's I think dating for me is, I can see it because my bestest pals are guys. My bestest mates, the boys that I would go to is my mate Doc, my mate Darren. other mates, Nadine and everything else, I've got all the, and I know how guys tick. So 90% of what a guy tells, what he says to me in a sentence, I'm sitting there going, right, he means this, he means that. I'm too clued up for half of them. I think that's the problem. Do you know what I mean? Somebody asked me the other week there, give me your number, and that my answer to him was try harder.
Aye.
Because all he said to me was, you've got the most lovely eyes I've ever seen. Give your phone number, I'm phoning you tonight. I was like, try harder.
Try harder.
Brilliant.
That I don't know what I say now. I'm trying to think what I say. Like, I don't need to say anything actually. They come to me.
Fucking knew that was coming. I knew that was
Here we
coming.
go.
No, I don't mean that. I know that sounds a bit fucking up my own arse.
I mean, here's the question, because obviously this is something Paul was talking about on his live the other night. So Paul got a lot of hate, right? Because obviously this lassie that he's now madly in love with.
Excuse me, can we stop saying that on telly and shit? Because this goes out and you can't take it back, and people are going to listen. And you know what? I'm going to get. You do realise that when this goes to certain people, I am going to be getting so much hate in my DMs.
So this is the thing. So they already hate on Paul, right? That this is what they hate on Paul for, because they think it's a disgrace that Paul and he spends time and is happy spending his time with someone who is a bit younger than him, but they're both happy enough. So what my question there was, do you think there's some sort of age limit? So like Paul's 37, this particular person's in their 20s, their early 20s.
Listen, I do think for an elderly person, like I'm fucking 85. I'm only 2 years older than Paul, right? But what I will say is, right, when I first spotted my man, I was in a terrible place and I was just fucking like wanting money, and it was always kind of younger guys. And I will say, early 20s, as in 20 to 23, I think only to 23, because some 24-year-olds can be mature, is a big maturity thing for boys, but girls do mature a lot quicker than guys. Most girls are a lot more mature than their years, so the gap doesn't go. And but then I can see one thing in particular, and both of these boys have became my friends, but what they were both the same age, are still the same age. And I look at one of them and I can see desire and think, wow, you're fucking a 10, you're something else, and go to control their thoughts, but still be their friend. And the other one, I just look at, oh, you're cute, son, and how you doing today, son? And they're completely the same age. They went to the same class, same school. So I think chemistry's a big thing. And I think if you've had, the thing, if you've had your family, if you've got intentions of having more family, then fine. The thing you've got to watch about when you do date younger women, not in all cases, and I don't even know who Paul's dating, so I'm not referring
I'm
to
not dating anybody, guys. I'm not dating anybody.
But a younger girl sometimes do have the, it's not the classic what damage from daddy issues and they look for the older guy. Some girls do the same, some boys do the same. They're looking for the younger woman because they're not secure enough, and a younger girl is going to be infatuated and not see the insecurities. You know what I mean? So we'll keep going low so that we're all right.
Paul's face.
So you're good as well, do you know what I mean? But age doesn't matter in the sense of that if there's a connection there. I've seen people there's a 20-year age gap and they've been together their whole life and they've grown together and died. So no, I don't think age is a factor. I think where you're at and why, if you're going for an age type, why you're going for that age and type, because most people are individual and go for individuals. Nobody that really wants something to settle down in love has a type.
I wouldn't say that if I was ever going to go with somebody, I would know their age before I liked them. And I think that's where it is. Like, I've been in relationships with people my own age. My wife is the same age as me. My ex-girlfriend was 9 years younger than me, eight nearly 9 years younger than me. But I didn't know what age she was until after I did, because she was Tinder. Same as if I'm talking to somebody now, or if I'm going to be talking to somebody in the future, I would have spoken to them, or I will talk to them before I even know what age they are. And
you've got to have the connection. I mean, Paula, if I had to say to you, right, your weight doesn't even notice, right? If I had to say to you, I'll give you a size 10, but you lose how beautiful you are, would you take it?
No, because like I know that I'm a bigger size, but I'm
Beauty
I'm
doesn't come in a size. To me, you're absolutely you've got such. I'm not just saying this because you're there, and I'm not just using the example because you can't.
Listen, I'm loving it because Paul's not getting any compliments. It's me.
When
I'm
I
like
was
a dancer.
when I was heavier, there was times that I was more beautiful than what I'm thinner because it's all about how you project yourself.
Proceed this out, yeah.
Right now, I feel sexy as fuck. I've bought fucking stockings. I've bought things. I've not went with anybody, but I'm dressing up and doing my thing, dancing and learning burlesque, going to burlesque classes, doing pole class to pull in my core and lose the rest of my weight. It's all about me. I don't give a fuck what a guy sees.
But that's called confidence. And see whether you're a man or a woman. If you get confidence, people are attracted to confidence.
I'm fucking good at it. They fuck, man. I've been single for 2 years. I told fucking Paul and that and Fraser before I come on, I'm actually scoring my own wanks. Do you know what I mean?
She did.
In life, I've actually worked that hard at it. One of the, you know what I'm talking about. One of the ones that's just taking forever. You've been in the taxi, getting held down. You've done all the scenarios. You've actually went to the old textbook one that usually gets you right there. You eventually get there, and it's like, fucking hell, man. The worst release ever. You've spent all that time and energy. I mean, guys even have a rhythm. We all have a rhythm that we know, right? That's us getting there. And this rhythm was like fucking one of the intros, but it kept getting stuck. The tape kept getting stuck, and you eventually get there, and it's like I'm actually pity wanking. I'm crying before it's finished. Do you know what I mean? The confidence is sexy. Confidence is what I don't know how. Because mine's obviously just strangles folk. I mean, don't get me wrong, people message me and say you've got the nicest eyes I've ever seen. And I do say things back like, yes, I know I like them myself.
I mean, a lot of people, one of the things, like, you know, what, like, for men and women, I get complimented on my eyes quite a bit. And it's one of the things, my eyes are my favourite feature because I love my eyes. But I get loads of, like, it's one of the only things I probably get the most compliments on is my eyes. And that's it. But that's equally one of the things, if I'm looking at somebody, then that's the first thing I'm looking at is their eyes.
Me too.
So, you know, it's one of the things that, you know, everybody's got something. I mean, you know, for example, Paul will not go on a date with someone that is taller than him. I know.
Look,
he's loved up. He's loved up. That's the missus.
What did Paula just say?
What did Paula just say, Paul? What did Paula just say?
Go on, Paul. You can do it. Use the man skill. You know it.
Come on, Paul.
Aye, Paul, you're right, aye. Guys, can I just apologise? I'm really sorry. I got a really important message there. I'm in the middle of booking a place to stay on Saturday night.
56 minutes. We'll cut
Why
that
don't
out.
you fucking wait until after the podcast and book the
You know something?
Cause she's. Can you cut, Fraser? What time is it?
Right, it's cut. It's cut now.
I do think it's beautiful. Do you know what I mean? I just end up always. I don't know what it is. That's what we want to talk about. I always just end up my best pals. The last couple of guys I mean, one of them I dreadfully fancied, like, from a distance for, like, fucking, and he's more or less ended up my best pal, one of my good pals, and I'm just like, no, that, and it does get a wee bit right. You need to put the feelings back in a box because now I need to be a true friend, and it's like a soccer.
I don't have any feelings like that for Paul. But what I will say is, when it comes to friendship wise, I would do anything for the friendship I've got with Paul, because we are so close friends, and that's, you know, that's one of the things. Like, that's the real beauty of TikTok for me, because I've made loads of friends, but I mean, I cherish all the friends that I have made, but I particularly will never meet another friend like Paul again. And I'm so close to him, and that's never going to change for me. So I'm lucky in that sense.
Darren, I've got my best pal Darren. He's like my bet. He comes down for roast chicken. He's all loved up. He's met this lassie, and it's so good to see because most of my weekends were spent with the things that the lassies that all fancy him don't see. With him upset and his head caving in, no caring what he's wanting, where he's going, what he's up to, blah blah blah, and then watching him. So Darren's that pal. But most of the guys I end up fancying, and I'm honest with them. I'm honest. I used to fancy blah 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 blah, and I end up best pals with my. If I've split up with my ex, I can successfully say I've slept with that one person. I said about the Fab Swingers, one person, and that was just like it was 2 years, and I just couldn't cope anymore. But other than that, it just turns into friendship every single time. And it's like I don't do the over texting. I don't do any thought processing, and I know that if a guy doesn't message you've always got to message them. Then they're not that into you. If a guy messages you, if a guy's into you, he messages you a lot, and that's it. Fact.
See, as a friend, I'm pretty sure Paul will back this up. I overtext Paul all the fucking time. Paul's like, Paula, you text me at the wrong moment. You phone me at the wrong moment every fucking time. But I'm like, Paul, what are you up to? And he's like, I'm having a shit. I'm like, oh, sorry, I'll go. Oh, bring. And I'm on the phone again. Like, hi, Paul. And he's like, Paul, I'm trying to get my fucking hole here. Like, it's constant. I like, but that's just, I'm constantly
That's
like,
just like me and Darren. Like, Darren will be like, I need to go and blah, 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 and blah. And I'll phone him at 3 o'clock in the morning. And it's luckily his girlfriend knows the crack. Do you know what I mean? And he'll be like, oh, it's just Dee. All right, how you doing, darling? What's that? And he just talks away. I've got that. And I don't fancy Darren. It's not that at all. But I'm just saying, I've said that one person in particular, I'm totally fancy them if they are far for a long, long time. Like, couldn't even speak to them. I just couldn't even have them in my zone. We'd had one kiss years and years ago. It was nothing, you know what I mean? And then ended up best pals. It's just like, I'm not saying that I don't value that friendship now because I do, but I'm just like, am I fucking, is it me? You know what I mean? So you do get to a point of confusion. Although I'm confident in everything I do in my life, I'm still, everybody just ends up friends.
I think one of the things I like about having a friend, and particularly it's a man, that I'm close to, that I can divulge anything and talk about anything. But Paul can tell me from a man's point of view, because I'm like, oh my god, and Paul's like, well, let's. But equally, like like I think when I said to Paul, I was 23 once, and I kind of out the route and said, what you're saying here, I was 23 and I'm going to give you a bit of advice to a 23-year-old lassie's point of view. So it works both ways. That's what's beautiful about this relationship. Friendship, not relationship, friendship.
It's a relationship, though. Friendship's not a relationship.
But I swear to God, if Paul met a bird and she didn't like me, I would be fucking fizzing.
I do come across it, not very often, but I have had pals in the past. I mean, don't get me wrong, I don't ask Darren doing as much. I wouldn't go and stay at Darren's house now the way I do, because that's just a bit of respect for the woman. Because it's like, I wouldn't like that. I wouldn't want a woman staying over at my boyfriend's house, even if they had been pals for years. I just don't, every day's different. I just wouldn't be comfortable with that.
I don't mind.
Whereas Paul's trying to book out my spare room, my hot tub, my whole house. He's like, Paula, can you move out for the weekend? Because I want my whole.
That's a lie.
Go for it. And I don't want to book a hotel so she can wear sex underwear. I just need a whole house for the weekend. So if you could move it, and no bother.
Oh man, that's not true.
So what would you advise people on relationships then? If somebody's looking to get into a new relationship, what's the do's and don'ts then?
How do you know a guy's interested in? How do you know if he just likes you as a friend or whether he's actually into you?
Because if he's into you, he will ask questions relating to you and want to get to know you.
And then from a guy's perspective, Paul, you can stop taking notes. What do you reckon?
I'm trying to think from my point of view and how I would react. Like, I'm not so much interested in getting to know the person as such. I'm very much I'm very much a passionate guy, so I'm less likely to sit and go, what's your favourite book, than I am to be you'll see in my lives what type of person I'm. I think that it's a jigsaw piece, right? And the first piece of that jigsaw is the and see if you've got that right at the beginning. That's the most important thing, because if you've got that because
Paul likes a lassie, right?
You don't like love. Yeah. I like a dominant girl, like somebody who's going to.
Paul needs somebody that's going to put him in his place, but also cuddle him.
Somebody that's affectionate, but will switch right away and.
He doesn't want somebody that's going to agree with him. He wants somebody to say, "No, Paul, you're fucking wrong there."
Aye, have an argument and then throw me up against the wall and ride me.
Bite your shoulder,
Right,
you know,
shoulder.
scratch down your back.
Scratch my back.
And
And that's what I've got.
I'm
That's
dead
the
strong outside. Dead strong outside, and I'm not saying I don't say what I don't like and all that, but I'm more submissive. I'm the opposite. I like being submissive. I like the guy taking control of me and looking after me in that respect.
Aye, so I'm at the stage now where if you've got the right, everything else can be worked on because there's nobody goes and the love needs to be there. No, the love doesn't need to be there because that's something that develops over time. Now that could be a week, it could be a month, it could be a year. You don't know how you're
Sorry,
going
my pups are going mental because their mum's not going to feed them. Get in here.
to. So with the whole love thing, it's not as important because you can fall in love. You can fall in love pretty quickly, or you can take a long time to fall in love. You could be, but it's one of the things. But that is instant. It's instant, and
That's
that,
the only thing I
but
look
that doesn't come from looking at somebody.
at. No,
It comes from
energy.
it comes from kind of talking to somebody. Just little. It's like with everything, buzzwords, things that you hear, things that you see, the kind of mannerisms. Because as I said, I'm not big.
Sorry.
I'm the type of guy that likes people to fancy my girlfriend, right? I'm the type of person. I'm in a pub. I get off on the fact that my girlfriend's good looking and everybody wants to look at her, right? But at the same time, I'm not overly fussed about magazine good looks or Hollywood good looks and all that. I'm more interested in sexiness, and sexiness doesn't come from looks. It comes from
confidence.
how you project yourself, and I think that sexiness comes from I like cockiness, I like confidence, I like somebody to tell me what they like rather than what I tend to find is with women that I don't tend to go on with is women I have to second guess and have to guess what they like or have to try and whereas I like a woman to go, do you know what? This is what's going to happen. I'm going to do this to you, and I just go, whoa, that's it, man. I'm putty in your hands. If you walk into the room and say, here's what's going to happen tonight, and just tell me what you're going to do to me, I am just like whoa, jelly, and I just go to pieces, man. It's just one of the things. Like I get off on a girl's confidence, and as I say, you don't need to be Hollywood good looking. You don't need to be magazine good looking. That's not where sexiness comes from. It comes from inside you and how you project yourself. Every woman in this planet has got the ability to be sexy. There is nobody in this world who hasn't got the ability to be sexy because sexiness doesn't come from looks, and that's just wrong.
I said it comes with sass. I say sass and class is something you can never buy or bought. It doesn't matter how many things you're saying. And I'm confident. I know what I like. I say what I like. I say what I don't like. I've got a certain level of what I'll accept and what I'll not accept. But it's just obviously being the Dee Maxwell product as well. A lot of folk are like, well, what's real? Is she actually going to fucking eat you as soon as you're left the building on your own? Well, do you know what I mean? So I'm sure it sounds a bit dangerous for guys, but I think I'm just, because I'm such one of the lads as well. But at the same time as well, I'm very affectionate, and I'm not going to lie, I need a lot of affection. I like cuddles, I like reassurance, I like random just kept walking by and a kiss in the head for no reason. It doesn't lead to sex, things like that. They're all important to me.
But I think that, see, if you project, right? So if you openly talk about sex as a woman, if you openly like talk about sex and like openly, most people want to either call you a slag, right? Or two, they'll be like, who the fuck is she, right? But the other thing is guys then they automatically assume that you don't like affection because you're talking about sex. They just think, all right, okay, she doesn't like kissed and cuddled and all the rest of it. She just wants me to bang her, and that's not necessarily true. And that's, you know, sometimes that's where guys have to realise that there is other things that a woman wants.
Mm-hmm.
I just fucking want to get beyond just fucking making all these fucking lost souls roast dinners, fixing them and watching them getting married while I fucking lie and greet
Paul living out your dreams and all that, you know?
You know what I mean? Fixing all my fucking mad mental pals that can't get a fucking bird in a fucking house full of women, you know what I mean? And then sorting them all out and watching them all get settled and happy, and that's them redundant. They don't need a roast dinner anymore and move on to the next fucking
Oh, brilliant.
fucking hell. That's my life. That's my life. That's what happens. I get these lost souls. I help them, and I teach them about themselves, and especially because a lot of players are insecure men. That's what they are. They're insecure in how they feel, how something about themselves that doesn't measure up to them. So they'll play the player and the charmer, and they'll play that up because then they can eventually show that bit that's there, and it's obviously only a certain woman that can deal with that. So they do all that stuff, and I break that down and I make them see who they are, and then I fix them on, and I'm fucking still lying there, fucking Billy Naples, know what I mean? Fucking no being
See,
fucking.
see people that are insecure.
Crucified.
Like, if a man's insecure and negative and really like quite negative about themselves and about life and no drive, that is not an attraction. Like, you're not a woman is not attracted to that.
No, I want a guy to come in for his night out. Tell me what a great time he's had for his man, put his ski mask on and fucking let's get down. Alright.
And on that note, I think we should end the podcast as a perfect ending, really, isn't it? Can't beat that. Can't beat that.
Brilliant.
Not like
That
you,
was great.
Not like you need our help, Dee, but how, if anybody wants to go into your comedy channels, how can they find you?
I'm on Twitter, I'm on Instagram, DFitMad. You can follow my weight journey, sponsored by Muscle Food. I'm also on Dee Maxwell 39 on Instagram, get all my home life updates on there. And I'm on my fan page on Facebook, and you'll get all the lives and comedy sketches with English comedian Steph.
Oh, Steph Ayres. That's
Yes.
I knew you. I knew you. It's fabulous.
Aye, we're doing skits together, me and Steph.
So if you want to go to check that out, go and check it out. But from Mon Blether, bye.
Bye from me.
Bye.
For fuck's sake.